Are you a mom who feels overwhelmed with the clutter in your home? You struggle with finding time to declutter your home because you're doing a million and one things and feel like there isn't enough hours in the day to get it all done? I can relate. You tried to get rid of things without the kids seeing, and that was an epic fail. But it's okay, you're not alone. I'm here to help. We are on this journey together. I've come to realize that as moms, we are so good at cleaning up and struggle with the clearing it out part. That's all about to change. We are going to free up space in our homes and mind to regain our time back and, most importantly, our peace. Now that we know what we don't want, let's work on what we do. Are you up for the challenge? Let's go. So this is just a quick note. As I continue to embark on my decluttering journey, I'm starting to realize by pulling back the layers that there's more to home organization, that the real issue is the clutter and decluttering it. And I'm starting to realize even though I've made a bit of progress, I find myself being stuck and overwhelmed still. So the solutions that I'm finding are great, but they're not sticking because there's an underlying symptom that's not being solved. And at the present moment, I'm only realizing that the solutions that I'm coming up with are literally band-aids. It's not getting to the root of the problem. So as I'm doing my research on social media, on YouTube, and reading, I'm starting to realize that no one's really talking about how to get to the core of decluttering your home. It's all these superficial, surface level solutions, which is temporary and maybe gratifying for a short period of time, but it's not really solving the problem at hand. And that's exactly what I want to do. I want to be able to fill that gap. I am going to fill that gap. Because going through this journey, myself personally, I'm starting to realize that the reason why I feel overwhelmed and stuck and sometimes paralyzed in even tackling a task is more due to an emotional attachment and a psychological attachment to the clutter. And there's a whole reason behind it, which I believe is due to a form of trauma. So the stuff that we have in our homes and the stuff that I have in my home doesn't just appear there. I made an intention to pick up the item and buy it, or go online on Amazon and buy it, thinking that it would make my home better, it would make my life better. But in reality, it was a band-aid to the problem. It was a temporary fix. It was a temporary high. It wasn't really solving the problem at hand. And as I deep dive into educating myself on what the real issue is, it's based on trauma, events, personal matters that accumulated the clutter. So I believe the reason why a lot of people have a hard time in knowing where to start, it's not even about packing away the sentimental items as yet. It's about unpacking the emotional item. And you don't want to face that as yet. So I want to create a freebie bundle that's going to give people the right tools to unpack that, to face that, to not feel overwhelmed. And I'm going to practice that on myself first. I'm going to use those tools on myself first before I share it. And that would be the first step in pulling back the layers to really identifying why the clutter started, where it started, the root of the problem, and provide the proper solution, which is the tools I'm creating to help people at least start the decluttering journey. Because the journey to decluttering is not a race. It's a sprinting process. It's a marathon. And it's about living a lifestyle of less. And for me, as I'm educating myself and understanding why I have so many stuff, it's almost like retail therapy. We buy certain things to feel good in a certain moment of time, but after that, it's just like you forget about it, you put it to the side. And then what happens? The clutter takes over your home and you don't feel happy anymore. It's a superficial band-aid. And it's time to remove that band-aid and get to the core and the root of the problem so that you can have more joy in your life. And I'm starting to realize that I only want to start keeping items or things that bring me joy, that's functional in my home, and that has some kind of use. If not, I have to be able to get rid of it because some way, shape, or form, it's keeping me paralyzed and in a state of unhappiness and unfulfillment. And it's so interesting when you think about it, the power that all these items and stuff have in our homes. And I've come to realize at the end of the day, it's time for you and I to take that power back. That's what decluttering is all about. It's about you taking your power back and saying, hey, enough is enough. I'm tired of living this way. And I want to live a happy life with less. Because in reality, less is more. Thank you for listening. So I do apologize for the background noise because I literally had this thought and I wanted to record this right away while I was cooking breakfast in the morning. I'm very intentional about making sure that when I'm recording my podcast, there's not a lot of background noise, but my spirit was just like, you need to hit the record button now and talk about this because this is the information. This is the insight. This is maybe even a hack that another mom needs to really get her started, get the wheels turning, and to make the change that she's always been desiring to have in her life. So right now, I'm going to make it my duty to create a functional and accessible system that works to help myself and you get over this hump and make decluttering not so overwhelming and also taking our power back in our homes and in our life. So if you're new here, thank you so much for listening. This is not a coincidence as to you stumbling across this podcast. Follow for more tips, hacks on decluttering and literally changing your life and your home. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.